but haven't uploaded probably anything at this point. But I felt like this would be a fun one to upload. I just received a new anniversary gift from my wife. It is the Pico Brew C, and it relieves a lot of the cleaning, a lot of the mess, a lot of the parts of brewing your own beers that just aren't nearly as fun as the process of designing and the finished process, of course, of tasting your beer. So we're gonna see how things go here. Got a few new toys aside from some fancy cameras and drones. I've also got the new DJI Osmo, so we're filming this on the DJI Osmo to see how that goes and see if that, I don't know, makes me prettier, way less. Probably not, but we'll see how it goes from here. So this is the actual unit here. This is the Osmo, or excuse me, the Pico. I've already kind of taken the liberty of getting the water ready, since I'm using the reverse osmosis and not the distilled water that you can just buy in the store. Eventually I will have a distillery that mounts on top of the brew keg, and I can actually distill my own water as well as spirits, etc. So a lot of fun things going on here, but we'll get right to it. We'll pop in some water and we'll go through the series of starting up our first batch of beer here. So I'm just gonna kind of leave things as they are and get things rolling. It takes about 3.5 liters in the top reservoir of the machine, and probably a little more than that in the brew keg. It's got nice fill lines, which make it easy to keep track of, which is kind of nice. And then just get that covered back up so it's all set to go. We received our Pico brew pack in the mail today. So even though I'm not a big fan of unboxings, I've not taken this brew pack out of the box yet. So we'll get this critter out and get that going as well. So this particular beer is somebody else's beer that we're going to actually brew today. It's the Kudzu Porter. So a little darker beer. I'm kind of a big fan of the darker beers. And just going to keep rolling here and get this little critter unboxed. This is how they come in the mail to you. And these are actually all biodegradable or compostable containers. So once you're actually all done, I've got a nice compost pile in the backyard that I use for making fresh dirt for my garden, and I just take advantage of that. So that is the hops pack. Sorry about the puppies, they tend to get excited. And then inside here, we'll have the larger grain pack, which has all your primary grains. And one of the cool things about this is there's a few different ways that you can tweak existing beers. There's also a portion online where Pico will have you actually design your own beer. So you can actually design your own beer, and you can also do and I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically like you're creating your own brewery where you can actually come up with your own beers, and you can actually give them names, your brewery name, basically all of those things, and you can actually market your beer through the Pico company. So that's kind of exciting too if you get really deep into it. So we're gonna get what they supplied here with the machine, which this is the little critter that actually holds the hops in place, and it just locks into the fingers like that. And then we can take the Pico pack out of its container. So this is basically what the Pico pack looks like. It's got a nice little embossed kudzu right here, which is kind of cool. And then it's just going to go directly into the brewing basket or hopper, which comes out of the machine. So I believe when I read through the instructions, it says to keep everything as far to the left as you can. So we'll put that unit in first to the left. We'll put this critter in right there. And then when the cover goes on, it's got holes that will align over the top. And if they're just not perfect, you can just move it just a little bit, but those look really good. So now we can slide that unit back into the brewing unit. This is kind of hidden from view, but basically I'm just locking on the lid to our actual brew keg. I'll show that set up and attached here in a second. And then the lines are actually different sizes, so you really can't mess that up, but it will tell you what colors attach to the in and out lines on your actual Pico brew. So we'll power it on here.